Good morning. The November 18th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. In the interest of promoting and maintaining health and safety as we continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, the Board of Estimates continues to be streamed live virtually. Madam Comptroller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Yes, hold on one second.
Yeah, I've got a copy.
You have it? Okay. Good morning. There are no protests that have been received for today's meeting. Please note the following deferrals. Pages 53 and 54, Department of Housing and Communication Development, Affordable Housing Bond Loan is being deferred from November 18th, 2020 until December 2nd, 2020. Also, please note that pages 68 and 69, items 1, 2, and 3, Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice grant agreements are being deferred from 11/18/2020 until 11/25/2020. Please note that we're moving to the non-routine, page 56, Department of Audits, Department of Recreation and Parks Biennial Department of Recreation Parks and Parks Biennial Financial Audit Report, fiscal years ending June 30th, 2019 and 2018. Please note the following abstentions for the Honorable Mayor Bernard C. Young, pages 39, pages 62 and 63, 64, 65, 66, and 67. Please note that the Honorable President Brandon Scott will be abstaining on page 39. Please note that the Honorable Comptroller Joan Pratt, there are no abstentions. Please note for Acting City Solicitor Mrs. Dana Moore, there are no abstentions. And please note that Acting DPW Mr. Matthew Garber, there are no abstentions. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. I would direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated November 16, 2020, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Comptroller. I will entertain a motion to approve all the items contained on the routine agenda.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. President, I move approval of all items on the routine agenda.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion carries. The routine agenda items have been adopted. On the non-routine, first item can be found on page 56, Department of Audits, Audit Report, Department of Recreation and Parks. We will hear from the City Auditor, followed by Director Moore from Recreation and Parks. Mr. Auditor, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Madam Comptroller, and the members of the Board of Estimates. My name is Josh Pash. I'm the City Auditor, and I'm here to present the Biennial Financial Audit on the Department of Recreation and Parks for fiscal years ended June 30th, 2019 and June 30th, 2018. We have audited cash basis financial statements of the governmental activities of the agency. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the revenues collected and expenditures paid for governmental activities of the agency. In planning and performing our audit of the financial statements, we consider the agency's internal control over financial reporting, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the agency's internal controls. Pursuant to that, we have 4 findings to report. There were no prior year findings to follow up on. Before I present the findings, I want to point out footnote 5 and footnote 6 of the financial statements. In previous audits, we noted that the grant opening balances were not correct. The agency is describing the correction of those grant opening balances in these 2 notes. For our findings and recommendations, for finding 1, the city and the agency need to monitor revenues to ensure that all receivables are collected and recorded in the appropriate agency's accounts. We noted that the receipt system and the billing systems are not integrated, making it more difficult for the Bureau of Revenue Collections to correctly identify receipts and allocate them to the proper account. When agencies bill for the reimbursement of grant receivables, it is completed outside of the city's accounting system, and therefore no receivable is set up. When the cash is received, BRC, the Bureau of Revenue Collections, has no way of knowing what is due to the city, whether the cash payment is for the full amount or a partial amount, and oftentimes they are not aware of where it should be deposited to and where the accounting should be recorded. We noted that state and federal agencies will often wire large sums of money to the city, and those sums of money can be for multiple payments. It falls upon BAPS to obtain a breakdown of payment, often from an online system, which is often available only for a limited time. BAPS prints out and maintains manual paperwork and for these, which makes it difficult to look up historical information. Finding 2, inconsistent recording information in the systems used for revenue collection and recording might have caused challenges in revenue reconciliation. When we were reviewing and doing the audit to look at all revenues and make sure they were collected by recreation centers, we noted that there were variances and it was difficult to identify if all revenues were deposited and properly recorded in the city's accounting system. Although there were reconciliations completed, they could not be completed efficiently because there were inconsistencies between the general ledger accounts and the city's accounting system and the agency standalone system called RecPro and previous Civic Rec. The automated cash deposit system and the general ledger and dynamics had variances. Reconciliation is a key financial control to reduce the risk of theft, misappropriation, and errors in recording. For finding 3, the city needs to improve system controls in the timekeeping and payroll systems. We noted that the data in the city's e-time system, the timekeeping system, and the HRIS, the human resource management system, are inconsistent and have variances, and that it's difficult to verify the time worked and paid. For example, we noted that historical edits, which are corrections to prior pay periods, that there is no link to the pay period in which the time was worked and the pay period in which the time was paid for the correction. This made it difficult to validate and verify those payrolls. We also noted that off-cycle checks, when they're issued, they're recorded in the HRIS system, and they are not recorded necessarily in the e-time system. And also the backup is not recorded in the HRS system, which made it difficult for us to validate the accuracy of those. We also noted that there are payment without time and attendance records in e-time. So when there are adjustments to payroll, we found in our sample that the adjustments are made in the HRS system, but they are not made in the e-time system, which made it difficult for us to validate the accuracy of that. We also noted that for certain employees, there was excessive hours recorded in e-time. What we noted was that the hours for the pay period, instead of being recorded on a daily basis, were all recorded on one day or 1 or 2 days, and sometimes those hours exceeded the 80 hours during a pay period. When we looked at the excess of 80 hours, we're not able to identify that any overtime was paid or attributed to that employee. For finding 4, the agency needs to retain documentation to demonstrate it is compliant with the city's payroll policies, and also to improve the agency's alarm callback policy. We noted as we were testing payroll that for fiscal years 19 and 18, that not all of payroll activities that were recorded and paid were supported with documentation that we could validate their accuracy. Additionally, the agency was unable to substantiate that alarm callbacks occurred and that alarm callback procedures were properly followed for, in our sample, 52 hours of overtime totaling $1,881 for a callback. What a callback is if an alarm goes off, an employee goes to verify that everything is okay and also turn off the alarm. And according to the union agreement and timekeeping policies and procedures, that for those events, the employee gets a minimum of 4 hours. And we noted a number of 7 of those instances, but we weren't able to validate and verify that the alarm actually went off during that period to validate that those times were proper. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor. Any questions before we go to Rec and Parks from any members of the board? Director Moore, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mayor Young, Council President Scott, Madam Comptroller, and board members. Today, I think, I'm not sure if Henry's on here, but the first two findings are more so for the Department of Finance, but I'm gonna have Ken King in my office kind of respond to each of those findings. But there again, I'm not sure if Henry or someone from his agency is gonna respond to those first two.
Director Raymond is on. I'm going to go to finance and see if they have comment after you, Mr. Director.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Ken King. Ken, I think you're on mute.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity for responding to the financial audit. What we have realized, we have agreed with most of the findings, with all of the findings, and most of it are basically systematic in the sense that our system does not integrate well or did not integrate well with the city's financial system. And we are happy to know that Workday is coming along and it will help alleviate most of these problems. With regards to callbacks, we have finally we have made some changes. We have made some changes already whereby we have upgraded all of our security systems, and we will be having access to data from the security system that who is the vendor. So in general, in conclusion, we have agreed and we have made changes, and we will definitely upgrade our system so that the next audit will be much better than this one. Thank you very much.
Mr. King, before you go, just a follow-up. So we believe that Workday and the upgrades to the security systems will remedy all the issues that the auditor found. You're on mute, Mr. King.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, to some extent, because really truly most of our issues are documentation and not necessarily because of our internal control, but lack of documents and the inability of the system some of the systems that we work with Rec and Parks to communicate directly with the city system. For example, we have Civic Rec, where we record all of our receipts for revenues, and this has to also transfer over into another system for the city, and then another system. So basically, three movements, and in that sense, information can be lost. With regards to our payroll, the issue here is basically paperwork, timesheet, leave slip, all these documents, and we have had to make some changes, physical changes where information has been moved from one place to the next, and that really created an issue with loss of documentation. Hopefully, with Workday, everything will be in one place. The systems will be communicating together, and our internal control has improved. So therefore, we should be able to alleviate most of these issues.
Thank you. Director Moore. You're on mute, Mr. Director.
That concludes our reports for the audit findings.
Questions from any other members? Director Raymond, do you want to chime in at all?
Yes, sir. Good morning, President Scott, Mayor Young, honorable members of the board. I'm Henry Raymond, Director of Finance. I will address the first three findings that the city auditor discussed. The finance department concurs with the findings. As the Department of Recreation and Parks indicated, we believe that the implementation of Workday in terms of the personnel system, payroll system, and the new accounting system associated with Workday will properly address these audit findings. Workday is scheduled to go live for the personnel and payroll system in January of 21, so that's right around the corner. The accounting module will be deployed in April of 21. So yes, we believe that the implementation of Workday, which is a fully integrated system for both personnel and accounting, will alleviate these types of audit findings.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions from any of other members of the board? Seeing none, the audit report has been noted. Madam Comptroller, Mr. Mayor, do you guys have any comments that you'd like to make, Madam Comptroller?
I would, yeah, I was trying to comment on our last meeting, which was November the 4th, because I wanted to highlight the important and much deserved payment to some of the city's most important frontline workers. It was on the November 4th agenda. And I would just like to commend the administration for the one-time payment of $500 to our solid waste workers, lead solid waste workers, and solid waste drivers. The functions performed by these vital workers are challenging and demanding under the best of circumstances. And during COVID-19, our sanitation workers have shown dedication and bravery and continue to perform their jobs every day, despite manpower shortages and operational challenges caused by the coronavirus. As I have mentioned in the past, prompt and efficient trash removal is an essential service at a time when many people are at home all day, every day. And it is entirely appropriate that we recognize and reward the loyalty and commitment of the public servants in our solid waste division. So with sincere thanks to every one of these essential frontline workers, I was proud to vote in favor of this payment to provide that some additional compensation for their dedication and sacrifice on behalf of the citizens of Baltimore. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. And before we close, I just want to take this time to again raise the importance and the deep in all this deep sincerity about how we have to continue to take COVID-19 seriously. Our numbers today are worse than they were in the summer. I've seen some of the things that in the way people have been acting. We have to be responsible. We are moving into the holiday season, and none of us wants to be in a place where we have to not be able to celebrate holidays as we're accustomed to. But that reality is that we couldn't and we shouldn't this year, that you have to limit it, because you do not want to lose someone that you love because we are being irresponsible just to be together. And we have to continue to wear a mask, even if you're only going outside for a few seconds. We need people to take this very seriously. When you look at our hospitals, no one wants to be putting restrictions and limitations, but it's the right thing to do because people are not taking this seriously. We are still having way too many people contract this virus. The numbers are going in the wrong direction. And if we do not want to be operating in the way that we are now, or even further restrictions in the near future, then people have to start to follow the guidelines. Take it seriously. Wash your hand, practice physical distance. Don't do things that are irresponsible. Don't think that going out or having a house party or having a hotel party is cool. It's not. You're being irresponsible with your life, with your people that you live with, life, the folks that you work with, and those who you say that you love. We are not out of this by any shape or form. We have to continue to take it seriously. And with that being said, as there's no more business before the board, we will recess until bid opening at 12 noon. We will reconvene November 25th, 2020. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. The Board of Estimates is now in session for the receiving and opening of bids. As part of the overall effort to limit transmission of the COVID-19 virus, the Board of Estimates is conducting bid openings virtually. Members of the public can call in to listen to bid openings live by calling 443-984-1696 and entering access code 0817325. Board of Estimates meetings are broadcast live on Charm TV, Channel 25 on Comcast Cable in Baltimore City. Meetings are also streamed on at the internet, www.charmtv.baltimore.com/watch-live. The Board of Estimates will continue to conduct bid openings virtually while the state of emergency declared by the Mayor of Baltimore and the Governor of Maryland remains in effect. I have one addenda to note. Department of Procurement B50005985, Weatherization Assistance Program and HVAC Services 2020. Please change the bid due date from November 18th, 2020 to December 16th, 2020. The first item is from the Department of Transportation, TR 18016, the Baltimore Convention Center Sharp Street Water Intrusion Repair with a bid bond. The bidder is Bensky Construction Company, LLC. With a bid bond, the dollar amount is $436,885. $436,885. The next bidder is WM Slosher Company, Inc. With a bid bond. Total dollar amount, $485,797. $485,797.
These will be referred to Department of Transportation for their review.
The next item is from the Bureau of Procurement, B50006064, hauling hot patch and milled asphalt. Is this with a bid bond?
Yep.
With a bid bond. The bidder is AB Trucking and Contracting, LLC. Is Glenn around? Let me see. Is the total bid price $67,000? A B9. Does this one have a bid bond?
I didn't find it.
Okay. So, as I said, the bidder is AB Trucking and Contracting, LLC. The total bid amount is $67,000. $67,000. And there appears to be no bid bond. Subject to verification of a bid bond. The The next bidder is Manuel Luis Construction Company, Inc.
With a bid bond.
With a bid bond. Total dollar amount, $65,500. $65,500. The next bidder is Timothy M. Parrish, Unlimited Trucking, LLC. Do you see a bid bond?
I do not.
The total dollar amount is $78,000. That's $78,000. There appears to be no bid bond, so subject to verification of a bid bond.
Okay, these will be referred to the Bureau of Procurement for their review and for verification of bid bonds for two of the bidders.
The last item is the Bureau of Procurement, B50006011, wastewater clarifier cleaning services for the Back River wastewater treatment plant. The bidder is A2Z Environmental Group, LLC.
No bid bond required.
Right, no bid bond required. Total dollar amount, $3,053,700. $3,053,700. The next bidder is Denali Water Solutions. LLC. Total dollar amount, $1,102,400. $1,102,400. And the last bidder is Synagro Central LLC. The total dollar amount, $1,179,100. $1,179,100. That's $1,179,100.
Okay, these will go to the Bureau of Procurement.
That's it. There being no more business before this board, it is now adjourned. Thank you all.